Here's the plan for today. I'm going to do what Micah asked and actually add TypeScript support to some of my open source libraries. And I'm mostly doing this as an exercise because I've never tried to add TypeScript to an existing project or to make sure that the library has type definitions. And I've started using TypeScript a lot recently, so I've become pretty convinced that it's useful, even if it's just useful for, what's it useful for? Auto-completion and giving you type hints and stuff when you're writing code. So TypeScript does make libraries easier to use because it means that it's almost like self-containing your library help files in the code itself, so that when somebody uses your library, they automatically get recommendations from their editor on how to use it. So yeah, we're gonna try first with the d3blackbox thing that I built a while ago, and then we're gonna try adding it to the useDimensions hook as well. And I think useDimensions hook also has a couple of issues and tickets that I haven't resolved in months because I'm really bad at seeing my GitHub notifications, so we'll see. Right, so go into cd documents random decoding, and this one is called d3blackbox. Git status, git log. Okay, so version 1.10, and we open the thingy and then start making changes, and yeah, that's pretty much d3blackbox. Where is it? d3blackbox, the project. So this is the code, and I'm gonna go check out where are even the files for this code. So package JSON, we got this stuff, and now how do I actually do this? How do you just randomly add stuff? Why do I have Prism.js as a dependency? I'm pretty sure that's not a real dependency. That should be just for dev. And I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's see how this code actually is structured. Index.js, and I can say yarn start, I think, to get the demo page up. And I think it's actually only the demo page that needs Prism.js and stuff. Even d3blackbox itself doesn't need that stuff, so I'm going to clean up the dependencies first, because right now we're forcing people to install too many things that they don't actually need. Right. So how do I do that? I can say yarn remove, right? So go into package JSON, and we say yarn remove Babel plugin Prism.js, yarn remove Babel plugin Prism.js. And then how do I install a dev dependency? Yarn dev dependencies. Ba-ba-da-bum. Come on, I know that's a thing. No, yarn add dev. Okay, so we're going to do. Why is it doing so many things? Yeah, because for d3blackbox, even d3 isn't an actual hard dependency, which I think is pretty cool actually. But it does mean I need to clean that up, and I'm not sure why this is taking so long. Weird. What does Babel plugin Prism.js even do? Oh, I know. Prism.js gives you syntax highlighting in the demo page. So Prism.js does this, blah, blah. My words aren't working today. That's what happens when you live code right after an app. Yarn add ---- dev Babel plugin Prism.js. Prism.js. So I'm now going one by one and moving dependencies. Maybe I should do it all together. So let's say yarn remove d3 Prism.js style components, and then I'm going to replace the remove part with add minus dev, and that should work. Okay, it's slow, super slow. And I think my bird is doing stuff he's not supposed to. Hold on. Kiwi! Kiwi! Kiwi, where are you? Hi, there you are. You should hang out with me. You shouldn't be in the kitchen on your own. Kitchens are dangerous for little birds. There you go. Hey, Fuzzy Buddy! Okay, so Fuzzy Buddy, funny story. My girlfriend has been complaining that it's been weeks since last she heard me say, hey Fuzzy Buddy. So, greetings from my girlfriend who has gotten used to falling asleep in the evenings to me screaming, hey Fuzzy Buddy from my office. Which I thought was really funny. Yarn add minus minus dev. Alright. Where have you been? Or has it just been me who hasn't been streaming as much lately? Okay, so now I'm going to try if yarn start still works after cleaning up the dependencies. I think it should. It's going to serve the React demo. Starting Webpack compilation, okay. Perfect. We got that. Can reload. Everything still works. Wonderful. Now I gotta go here into index.js and add type definitions. Should we just change this to index.ts? Let's try that. So that means I need to add TypeScript, right? Yes. So we say yarn add minus minus peer TypeScript. Is that how it works? Hoping that's how it works, because we don't want TypeScript to be a direct dependency, but it should be a peer dependency. Cool, TypeScript, that worked. And we can also use, I wonder if I can, have you ever used Linux or a PC? Yes, I have actually. I used to, for most of high school and for most of my high school years and a lot of my college years, I actually used what was it? A Linux box. So I had a Linux machine, and I dealt with all of the maintenance issues and everything. And it was actually a really fun hobby to have a Linux computer, but I eventually got bored of that. Git commit -a -m. Clean up dependencies, right? Okay, now let's see if using TypeScript will just work. So main, how does build React component work? I'm hoping build React component is going to be smart enough to just work with TypeScript. So let's do move source index.js to source index.ts. So open index.ts like that. Now we gotta start adding type definitions, right? Yep. How do we do that? Let's see if Micah's suggestions are useful. So render should be a function. Let's see, d3 render props React component like from prop types. Okay, so our render needs to be a function. Okay. So when we use d3, let's see, this is now giving me all sorts of problems. Okay, let's start with the errors up here. We have the d3blackbox hawk. How do you write a type for a hawk? Let's see. React hawk TypeScript, because I have never done that before, so I just want to see how it works. This looks like a good article about it. Update, React hooks in TypeScript. So let's see. With loading, P extends object component. What? I'm very confused how this works. Is there a hands plus inject? I would love to see sign into medium. I don't want to sign into medium right now. Class may counter extends react.component. No, that's not what we need. Props counter props, and that's just a component. Aha. No. The more common form of hug, but more difficult to set types for. Besides injecting props into a component, in most cases they also remove the injected props. So are we... Let's say that this is... Okay, no. So enhancers. We will start with enhancers, as these are the easiest to set types for. A basic example of this pattern is a hug that adds loading. So class with loading equals a component. Class blackbox extends react.component, which should be fine. And the component, this props, hi burp, d3 render needs to be a function. So a function. Okay. So let's see what Micah suggested here. d3 render function. We can say export type d3 render function, which is a function that gets the anchor, the props, and the state. So that is a good one. Export type d3 render function. So I'm going to use what Micah suggested. Anchor is a ref object that has stuff. Then props are props. Where do you get props? Oh, it's an interface for props. So props should be just is there a react.props? No, not react DOM. React dot. Is there a props type? Props data new. So props and state, export interface props, export interface state, which could be anything, which means that I should make it support anything, right? So yes, support anything, but suggest, yes, that's going to be correct. State is state. So ref objects comes from, let's do react.ref object. That, and we don't actually need to import component because we're not using that directly, and we're going to say export interface props, which is going to be we recommend that you use an x and y for as a number, but it's not actually no, it is mandatory in this component, so that's mandatory. And then we have component, which is react component like. That means we need to add yarn add prop types as my as an actual dependency. React component like from prop types. Got that. What is it still complaining about? That. Okay, so export. Oh, okay. d3 render function is a function that takes an anchor, a props object, and a state object, and it returns void. And then we have an export. Then we have an interface for the props, which always have an x and y argument. We always require those two props because of this rendering down here. And we also expect a potential component, which is React component like, or a string. No? Okay, I don't actually know what React component like does. So where does that come from? Okay, so and then let's say export interface state, which is for and state can be pretty much anything, right? So we are using key string and mapping that to any. Wait, React has types, right? So maybe React has a state type. Let's see. React. Definitely. I'm sure there are types for React somewhere. React TypeScript, because I think that TypeScript, I think that React is built with TypeScript. Component patterns, component props and state. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna keep this. So, great. So we now have types for the basic d3 render function, which is this thing. So we're saying that this is a d3 render function. Cool. So yeah, d3 render function is the function that goes into d3blackbox. Is it? No, it is not. Angular is built with TypeScript. Yeah, I think you're right, but I'm pretty sure React has support for TypeScript. So this is a d3 render function is, no, that is what you supply. So you supply a d3 render function as the argument to d3blackbox, but then React component, which class extends, why doesn't props does not exist on type blackbox, but I'm pretty sure that props does exist on type blackbox because it is a React component. So let's see. Extends react.component. I'm pretty sure that needs React hooks in TypeScript. Does it even make sense to still have this as a higher order component? That is a good question. But I wanna allow it because people might still be using it. Component refers to a value but is being used as a thing. So React component. Like, let's see if that works. Component refers to a value but is being used as a type. Yes, I know that component refers to a value. That should work. Hi, Burp. Okay, let's go back to this article. So enhancers with loading extends React component props, this props, and with types we say, aha. So we have React component p extends object. So that's what we said. So React component type. Okay, React component p, and okay, we don't need that. So we can just say p, and here I'm going to say p extends object. Like that, and then d3blackbox function, oh no, here. d3blackbox, which is react.component type. Do we actually need anything? React component, no. What if I just say that this is a React component type? React.component type, will that make it work? No. So why doesn't component type property props does not exist on TypeBlackbox? Why doesn't it know how that works? Here an interface is declared with the types of the props that will be added to or enhance the component when it is wrapped. Component type. Hey, oy vey. Okay, so right, the d3blackbox is our generator, which returns a react.component, right? So that's the return type. Why is everything any? Do we need to update? No, we have React. Where do I find type definitions for React? Because I'm having a little trouble working out how this works. So P, cannot find name P, which makes sense. Okay, let's go to the React GitHub. Oh, this is what I forgot to do. Live coding, Facebook React. I'm pretty sure they have type definitions. So scripts, bench, babel, blah, fixtures, packages, component based. Let's see, TypeScript, no, packages, React. So have I finished my paid course yet? No, the paid course is still going on. We got to about, I think I just finished session 8 this week, and we're probably gonna go another couple of sessions before everything is done. But it's going pretty well, I think. Yes, we'll see how well it's going, but I'm enjoying it, and I think people are enjoying it as well. So prop types, forward ref. Let's see, is this saying that we need to install anything else? Enhancers, and with, yeah, so we have react.component type, but why is state TypeScript this dot props undefined? Let's see. Let's see what the internet says. React component any. Okay, what if we say props any like that? Aha! Then it gets more happy. No. So d3blackbox is a function that takes a d3 render function and returns a react.component. Right? I think. And d3blackbox extends React component, which is a component that takes props and any. But then why is it saying that props does not exist on TypeBlackbox? This is because in your example the props for people is never passed down. Component props. Does anyone know how to write types for React components? TypeScript React class component. Let's see. Sure, TypeScript and React. Card props, card gets guard props aside. What about for class components? Come on, show me a class component, please. Stateful class components. React class clock extends component, which takes props and an object. Clock has no properties, but the current state is of type clock state. Component will mount blah. This state dot, yeah, so that should be working, but it's not working. Okay, let's try just defining a class on its own. Foo extends react dot component that takes props and object like that, and then does not compile in strict mode sample props. Props, and also then we say constructor props. Let's try that. Super props. So now in the render method, yeah, I mean actually the get alive option works pretty well, but I'm just not very good at listening to that. So now if I say this dot props, why doesn't that work? Do I really have to say this dot props equals props here? No. Property props does not exist on type foo. Okay. TypeScript React property props does not exist. Come on, I know I'm doing something stupid wrong. Property props does not exist on type blah. Okay, React home.component prop. After pulling down your repo and inspecting it, I realized that you do not have React typings for TypeScript. Aha! That's what I did wrong. Okay, so I need to add yarn that as a peer dependency, I guess. Yarn add ---- peer at types/react. So that should make it work then. Let's see if it does. So we got the shape of your objects and your data. TypeScript React component needs to know the shape of the props. Type of black box is missing the following properties from the type component. Context set state force update. Did you mean to use the new with this expression? No, I wanted to return a class. Okay, so I now have types. It now knows that props is a type, which is great, but now it's complaining that what is this missing? Type of black box is missing the following properties. Context, set state, force update, render, and 3 more. If you actually wanted to enforce the shape, export class. Component refers to a value but is being used as a type. That's true, it is actually being used as a type. Okay, so also I'm not sure how do I define this local class? Missing the following properties from type. Okay, let's try that. TypeScript React missing following properties from type. See, Google knows everything. You are passing car to profile, it's passing 4, but your interface has only yeah. Okay, so that's not it. Tips and patterns with or without React, deciphering TypeScript React errors, JSX TypeScript, TypeScript breaks, referential transparency. So this is harder than I thought it would be. Don't use public accessor within classes. Okay. Don't use private accessor within component. Don't use protected accessor within component class. Extends component class. Don't use enum. Oh, okay. Type of black box is missing things. So let's say state here and state here. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing, what I'm supposed to do. What do these hawks here say? So it is an object with loading. Let's try renaming it, reconfiguring it that way. Export const d3blackbox equals a component that gets d3 render, which is a d3 render function, and then it just returns a bunch of stuff. So it returns all of this stuff, and then it just works. No, it doesn't, because it's complaining. So we close that one, then we close that, and that's it. Does that work? No. Declaration or statement expected. Okay, what am I still missing? That. Hi bird. Okay, what if I do it this way? Okay, so now it works. Interesting. So if you say return class, that doesn't work, but if you use a fat arrow function that returns a class, it does work. Interesting. Okay, so I'm trying to... Why would I feel awkward when I'm running around town? I don't understand what's awkward about that. Candy cane. Do you, you mean when I go for a run and I'm doing it around the city? There's people doing that all the time. There's literally zero awkwardness about it. Oh, that's what's wrong. What is going on here? So ref equals this dot anchor, like that. No? What the hell is wrong? Component. Oh, did I delete that? Okay. So what are you self-conscious about, Candy Cane, when you're running? Aha, render needs a... Okay, so we need to have a render we need to render something from the render component. Return like that. Okay, so that doesn't quite work, but if I just return a p tag, then that should work. No, cannot find name p. Don't care. This is JSX. Okay, that's weird. Div. What? I don't understand why it's complaining about this. So let's see. What does React component need? React component. Oh, because it's component. Okay, React component type extends React component, which means here we need to do React.component type that gets props and state. New. Hi Bert, hi. Generic type component type requires between 0 and 1 type arguments. Okay. So that should be... Yeah, so Candy Cane, if you focus on running, or maybe... what was I gonna say? It's either running helps, or... So what is React component like? Running, or focusing on running, or I like to listen to audiobooks or podcasts. That's also really helpful. React component like. React component like. React component like. Components and props. What? I want to know where this is defined. So React component like is either a string or something that takes props and stuff. Okay, so that should be fine. And now suddenly is not assignable to... Oh, right. So component. So component refers to a value but is being used as a type. So how do I do this? Hi. Component or grouping element, we're gonna keep that. Now how do I actually call a component without using JSX? I can return... It's not letting me return a component directly. So component types, a complete overview by Riv Warburg. He's pretty cool. He makes great tutorials. Get initial state, create class. No, that's not what I need at all. Errors with DOM elements, why even type check React, getting a properties type wrong, all type errors, errors with custom React component, using your own props. Come on, why are we talking about object types? Okay, I don't think this article is helping. Okay, now let's see why I cannot find name div. How do we tell it that this is JSX? Turn div, custom input. Let's try just returning a grouping element where we said it has a translate. No, it has a transform that translates $x and $y. Like it, and it has a ref that is this dot anchor. No, what's it complaining about? Cannot find name ref, cannot find name G. Okay, what about React without JSX? How do we call a React component without JSX? Render return div, return React create element. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. React create element, which takes the component and then can be compiled to this code. So we take the second argument to create element are props, right? Let's see, React create element, where are you? Create component, props, and children. So our props are, we have a transform prop that says translate $x and $y, and then we have a ref prop that says this dot anchor, yeah, like that. So that should now work. Okay, so we got the d3blackbox component itself is now works. So the next one is for use d3. So use d3. Have you added JSX compatibility to TypeScript config? That is a good question. I probably have not, because I don't know how. Actually, you're right. I do need TypeScript config, don't I? That is wonderful suggestion. Thank you, Jack Hollis. TS config for React, and I'm gonna copy it from somewhere because I'm too lazy to create my own. So where does TS config go? TypeScript React starter, TS starter template for TypeScript with React. Perfect. So that looks like it should work. Create our new project. Setting up source conform, running the project, creating a production build. Wonderful. Creating a component, enthusiasm level, type assertion, stateful components. Where are we? Stateful components, React interface props. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to steal this TS config. Where does TS config go? Directly in tsconfig.json. Okay, so we got all of that. Now let's open tsconfig.json and let's see, have compiler options. Output is to, let's see, where is my output? My output is supposed to be to lib. So we're going to say output is to lib, module common.js, target ES5, that is fine, lib ES6, DOM, source map, allow.js, JSX, React, module resolution, root dir. Okay, so that should just work, which means I can then go back here and now it's complaining again. Property props does not exist on TypeBlackbox. So why did that stop working? Module types React index can only be default imported using the ES module interrupt flag. ES module interrupt flag. Where do I get that? ES module interrupt TS config. So let's see. Compiler options. ES module. Where do I put that? ES module interrupt. I don't know. I guess ES module interrupt true. And then this should automatically work. Cannot use what? No, we're using state here. Okay, and then this dot anchor. Ref object is not assignable parameter of type unknown. Create ref. What does create ref return? React.ref object. Okay, so this is better. Let's see if I can now write return component. Component refers to a value. Okay, so that error still exists. We might have So we might have support for JSX, but because we're doing weird dynamic JSX thingies, it's complaining. So what does create ref return? Function create ref returns a React ref object of unknown. So let's try changing this to unknown, and then it magically just works. And now this is complaining. Render has implicitly an any function. So let's see. This one is a, okay, so we're going to say export type d3 render hook function, which just gets an anchor because everything else is local, so we don't need props and state. React ref, actually, should we just say that this is optional? Now let's have a render hook function, because that I think will be more, I think that's just going to be more like clearer when people are using this stuff. And it is returning a void, so, or rather it's not returning anything, so the hook gets a d3 render hook function, and then ref anchor.current. Aha, so it doesn't actually get a, yeah, it gets in fact a DOM node. So let's see, where are we? The anchor should be, what is dot current? Oh, what is the type of dot current? React, come on. Property react mutable ref object dot current. Mutable ref object. Okay, so use ref returns a react mutable ref object. A mutable ref object whose current property is initialized to the past argument initial value. The returned object will persist for the full lifetime. Note that useRef is useful for more than the ref attribute. It's handy for keeping any mutable value around, similar to how you'd use instance fields in classes. Let's look at, this doesn't have types. Type of useRef current. Cool. Types React, definitely typed. Okay, let's look for React here. So types React. Come on. I know it's in here somewhere. No? ABC D3. Okay, deprecate. Why does it only go to, let's try just, oh right, because there's too many files, it can't go to everything. Types React. Let's see, will that work? Yeah, it does. So global index DTS, jump to definition available. Cool. So let's look for ref object t, ref legacy. Let me zoom in so you can actually see what I'm doing. What if we look for current? Aha, ref object t, read only current, mutable ref object t, and current is just the t. I don't know how to use this. Callbacks are only allowed to return blah. useRef returns a mutable ref object whose .current property useRef initial value t. So what if I just say t? It's then going to say that t is not defined. But in this case, it needs to be a DOM node, right? So DOM attributes, HTML attributes DOM node react.dom. So this should be, let's see. We are expecting that it's going to be just an HTML element of some sort. SVG attributes. No, DOM attributes, huh? How would I do this? So I'm kind of confused right now because I don't know how to say that this should expect a DOM node. TypeScript React ref DOM node DOM element type. Let's see. React refs with TypeScript. How to use refs in React with TypeScript. Okay. React refs. Cool. Creating refs. Let's see. Create ref. This my ref. Ref object is not assignable. HTML div element. Aha. So it's going to be just some sort of HTML element. HTML. What if we say React HTML? React HTML element, that's what we're expecting. Interface t extends import generic type requires one type arguments. So let's just say that that is just whatever. React HTML element. T extends HTML element, extends detailed React element. Why is this so difficult? I just want. So extends HTML element. What if we say HTML element? There we go. So that's what this is expecting, and now this argument of type null is not assignable to parameter of type HTML element. Yes. So we are expecting HTML element or null. Yes. Okay. So now it's working. So we now have TypeScript support added to my, or rather, we've converted D3. Kiwi, come on. We've converted the whole d3blackbox component. Yes, the magic of TypeScript is that everything becomes kind of a confusing mess, but once you're using it, it's much easier. So let's see. Let's try starting it, or rather git status, git add source and dot, git commit -a -m, convert. What did we say we're converting? We're Kiwi. Relax, Kiwi Pie. Convert d3blackbox to TypeScript. Now let's see if we can compile this shit. Yarn start. Ow, my fingers don't work. So I'm hoping that start demo will still know what to do and just magically work. Otherwise, I am in trouble. Can't resolve ... /source. Right. That's a problem. Which means I now have to compile this twice. So let's go tsconfig. We're going to say out there is lslib cat lib index.js. That has all of that stuff. Which means I can now say, what if I just say tsc? That should compile it for me. At least I think I have tsc installed. If I don't, it's going to be a problem. No? Seriously, I don't have tsc on this computer? It's expected to contain all source files. Index... Yes, I know. Ugh. Demo is not under root dir. I don't care. So let's see, source lses, what? ls tests, ls source. Okay. What is this complaining about? Where is root dir? Yeah, TSC comes with TypeScript. You're right, it does. So, but why is it complaining? TSC source slash. Just compile that part, please. So we can now go into here, package JSON, source slash .ts not found. Index.ts. So instead of build React component, object is what? Weak map. Where is it trying to find weak maps? What the hell is wrong here? Cannot find name set. Target is ES, let's try ES 2015, because we really don't need support for anything older than that. Hi Bert. And I'm going to change the build component, the build to say, I don't know what build React component does. Let's see. So I'm using NWB. Maybe NWB doesn't have TypeScript support. It's like an old school, it's an old toolkit that doesn't really exist. I don't know if NWB is still popular or not. NWB TypeScript. Use NWB with React component and TypeScript. Let's see. Did you ever resolve this? I did not. I was able to resolve it using TypeScript's own compiler. Essentially, I replaced my build config, which was blah, with clean ts. Okay. I also configured tsconfig file that the tsc command uses when building the output. That one looks like this. Okay. So I'm gonna copy this one because the main reason I'm copying it is because I am already using NWB, so it makes sense to use the same config that somebody else has made work. Okay, and then in build, in package.js, my build is going to be npm run clean ts and npm run build all clean ts. Where is clean ts? Okay, let's just do run build all, and then we have build ts, which just runs tsc, and we have build all, which runs npm run all, copy css to lib. I don't think I need that, but it does build ts. Okay, npm and we're going to need nwb okay. Let's just try. Now that I have a different ts config, I'm going to try tsc. So one of the problems with open source is that I'm finding that packaging stuff is always the hardest. So we now have build, lib, index.js map, index.js, cat. Okay, so that works. Now how do I do yarn start? Yarn start work. let's see what yarn start is going to complain about. Yarn start should start the demo. So that's serve react demo. Okay, that worked. So I can now say localhost 3000. And it's not working. Why isn't it working? Imported module is not a function. What? Bar chart demo. Okay, demo source index.js. This should be importing bar chart from bar chart. Okay, let's run a clean. I'm going to go back, remove all of. No, actually, let's keep that. Yarn clean. That should remove a bunch of stuff. Cleaning module, cleaning demo. ls demo source. Cool. So if I go to demo source index.js, this is importing from React DOM social share /bar chart. Let's see, bar chart. Aha, this is importing from the source instead of from the compiled library. So we need to import d3blackbox / build lib. Let's just do lib index, like that, from R. So React d3blackbox comes from lib, and in tsconfig we can say that we are exporting into, we're putting everything into lib. So is that where we were doing it? Package JSON expects main to be lib index.js. Yes. So now I can say yarn build. Okay, let's just run TSC. Run TSC. Cool. So now in lib we have index.js. Cool. Bar chart has imports from lib. What else? Recommend needs to also import from // lib react.js. And then what else? Styled components, image, prism.js, prism CSS. Okay, so now when I say yarn start, it should work. I hope. Okay, that's compiling, or rather, now in package JSON, build TSC. So we have build TSC. Let's see, does the demo still work? No. God damn it. Why is this so hard? Empty cache and reload. What are you trying to import? Bar chart equals d3blackbox, and uncaught default is not a function. So d3blackbox is not having luck importing this stuff. Why? So let's see, ls lib that has index.js, which should just work. So if I open index.js, no, come on, open lib index.js, git status rmrf build. What's in source index.js? Okay, so this should be working, but it's not getting compiled correctly. What? I am so confused why this demo isn't working right now. I guess that's what I get for using weird toolkits. Kiwi, shut up. React components and libraries. Type. No. TypeScript. TypeScript new. Right, so CommonJS built an ES module build in ES. So, hi Bird, why are you being so annoying right now? tsconfig lib target ES5 lib all of that, source map true, allow JS, make this false when all JS files can be converted to TS. So let's do that as false. ls, let's see, ls source index, no, rem source index.js. Okay, so I think that this is working. I'm just having trouble with the demo part, and I'm trying. Hi Bert, why are you so full of energy right now? Okay, npm yarn build ts. Let's see, so the TypeScript compiling works. So ls lib ls source, great. So we get index.js, which should, hi, relax please. You need to chillax. Great. So what did nwb build? What did we used to have here? Let's try running just that. nwb build react component, nwb build react component. Let's see what that does. ES6 module build, building demo. Will it build the demo? Okay, so that's building, but I'm not sure if it's actually doing anything useful right now. What does my girlfriend want? Build failed. Cannot resolve ... Why not? ls lib. Oh, why did it? Of course it's not gonna work if you delete it first. God. Oh, I know what we're gonna do. I'm going to tell TSC to export directly to source, so we can change this back to source, and this back to source, and then in tsconfig we're going to say that it's outputting directly from lib to source, so we're going to have index.js and index.ts together. So now when I run tsc, right, yes, that's gonna work. It's gonna make development complicated, but we can say npm run, no, let's do it this way, tsc and nwb build. So now when I say source, we have index.ts and index.js, and now when I say yarn build, it should be able to import from source even though it's in a JavaScript environment. Let's see what my girlfriend is texting me about. Okay, waiting for the demo to build. Oh, my fingers hurt today. Okay, so that worked. So now if I say yarn start, I should see it working in the thing, right? Would you like to run the app on another port instead? Let's delete this one, say no, yarn start. Starting Webpack compilation, and now I can go to localhost 3000 and it should just work. Oh, come on, please work. I don't understand. Why is this not working? Okay, so what else can we do? tsc config, specify library file to be included, module is common.js, target, let's target ES 2015. Module code generation, not common.js, let's say ES 2015. Let's try that again. Yarn build. So that's now running TSC, and then it's going to build the rest of the React component. So let's see. Creating ES6 module build, cleaning demo, building demo, cleaning module. Okay, so if I open index.js from source, we now have this thing that should just work. So this is now the plain JavaScript version of our TypeScript file, which should in theory just work, but we will see. Export default was not found. Oh, right. That I actually deleted that. Export default const d3blackbox. Like that. Export default d3blackbox. Let's try that again. Yarn build, and please hope it works now. Although I'm not sure then how we would be able to use it in other places, but I guess we will just have to try. Okay, so that's building, and I think that once I get this working, I'm just gonna stop live coding because this is getting really silly. Yes, so what if I do yarn start now? Will that work? Let's see, index.js, index.js. So that's all fine and good. I'm just hoping that it's still gonna work even when you're importing this stuff. Okay, so that's working now. So the demo works. The part I'm not sure of is whether this stuff is actually useful. So I'm going to move the type declaration files into a React component like, let's do it this way, that stuff, and we're going to say index.d.ts, and everything should just work, right? Import d3 render function, and what else do we have? And props and state from dot slash index cannot end with consider importing index instead. Yes. Wow. What if I do it this way? So I'm not very used to DTS files yet, so I'm not sure where to put stuff. Import d3. So why is this not working? TypeScript auto import d.ts. Module resolution. This section assumes some basic knowledge about modules. Blah. At this point, the compiler will ask what the shape of module A, import entry from Angular core. Kiwi, relax. A relative import will be resolved, so import B from the thing. Okay, what if I change this to types? Because it's clearly complaining if it's a index file. d3 render function from dot slash dot slash types, and let's rename this thing. So move source index.ts to source types.d.ts. Come on, I know the file is there. Index.ts. Cannot find module./types. Yes, you can. It's right here. Why? Let's try restart. Let's try moving this stuff back and then restarting VS Code, and maybe it's going to magically figure out what's up. Because I'm pretty sure types are supposed to automatically get imported and they should just work and be always available. Yes, release notes, I don't care right now. Index.ts. D3. What are you complaining about now? No, don't want to print this. What? D3 render function. What? Why is it being so slow right now? Import D3 render function from dot. Import D3 module index has no exported member D3 render function. Yes, it does. Okay, what if let's move it back then. Move index.ts to types.ts, and I open VS Code and wait for everything to load and then try again. Index.ts. Okay, so I'm still waiting for squiggly lines to show up. There we go. Let's say import d3 render function from /types. Yay, now it works. Okay, props and state and d3 render hook function from types. And now I can say yarn build, and that should just work. Yes, yarn build. And then I'm going to try deploying this thing, and we will see if we can make it. We're gonna see if the types that we added actually work in the thing. Let's see, building demo. Okay, and now I can open lib-index.js, which is our source file. Lib-index.js. It has all of this stuff, which should be fine. Git status, git. Let's do that to. Let's add it to git ignore. So I'm adding basically the compiled TSC version to git ignore. Index.js. Actually, yeah, index.js and source index.js.map. Like that. Git status, git add source, git commit -a-m, and we said get demo to compile with ts d3blackbox, git push. Okay, so now we have to say np version minor. Yeah, minor. So this is going to be now 1.2, and git push origin ---- tags. Okay, and I can now run npm publish, which is going to ask for my OTP code. Authentic. Oh, come on. Authenticator. Let's see, where is my code? Okay, so we deployed that. Now the next part is making sure that the types are actually useful. So I'm gonna go into Code Sandbox. Could not sign in. Okay, sign in with GitHub. Load.
Hi, Kimi.
And let's see, create React Sandbox, and I'm going to try importing d3blackbox and see if it gives me any type hints. d3blackbox. Okay, so let's see. Const. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see better. Also, my screen is getting very orange, isn't it? I think that means it's getting too late. Const foo equals no, import d3blackbox from d3blackbox. Now let's see, const foo equals d3blackbox. Will it show me any type support? No? So why isn't this giving me type hints now? Because it should be. There are types available. Not sure. I don't know. Okay, so I don't know, but I added my types, and I'm just gonna ask Micah if that works for him now, because he was the one who asked. Let's see. Issues. Hi, bird. You're being silly. Okay. Zero commits to master since this tag. Okay. I don't actually know. Right. I can just do this. Let's see. Hey, Micah. Converted d3blackbox to TypeScript, but not sure how to verify it happened in a useful way. Packaging for distribution may have messed things up. Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna stop live coding now. Thanks everyone for watching. It sucks that we didn't get to do this, to give the same treatment to useDimensions, but maybe that's gonna happen tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not decided yet if tomorrow I'm gonna live code about a Chrome extension or converting useDimensions, but we'll see. So thanks everyone for watching. I will see you again next time.